Hello and welcome to another section. Today we're going to be looking into this information disclosure series part 2. In our last lesson we talked about information disclosure in error messages, information disclosure on debug page, and information disclosure in the source code via the debugger. Today, we'll be looking at the other forms of information disclosure, which is the authentication bypass via information disclosure and the information disclosure in version history control. So the first lab we'll be taking a look at is the information bypass via, the authentication bypass via information disclosure. Now, according to the lab descriptions, it says this lab's administration interface has an authentication bypass vulnerability, but it is impractical to exploit without knowledge of a custom HTTP header used by the front end. To solve this lab, we literally need to obtain the header name, which is the custom HTTP header, and then use it to bypass the lab's authentication. Now I've already spawned up this lab over here, and you can do that also by just right clicking and then opening a new tab. Now, since we are asked to find an admin interface, I have literally done that already, and you can also do that by actually using the dir search command on your terminal with the dash URL parameter we did in the previous video. Now dir search dash URL followed by the URL name, which is the particular URL you have here. So once that is done, you can see that we literally have the /admin directory coming up in various searches. Now this is because /admin exists, but it has been given a status code of 141, which means we are unauthorized to view the content of this page. We can also prove this by navigating by copying that and navigating to /admin over here, which should actually show you that your admin interface is actually only available to local users, which means you literally need to be an admin. Now, in order to bypass this, we can go ahead and use PortSwigger. In case you don't know how to set up PortSwigger, right, you can actually refer to the previous video, which is the information disclosure series part 1, to check on how to set up proxy chains and how I was able to install certificates. That's the csat.der certificate, right? So once PortSwigger is loaded up, you can go over to the intruder tab and then go over to the proxy tab and click intercept, right? Turn on intercept. Once this is done on, you can we still don't have access to the admin interface, but let's go ahead and click Bob, right? Just go ahead to your proxy and then click Bob. Once that is done, hit enter on the URL and then you should get a request on your web proxy, which is PortSwigger. I'm gonna go over and send this to repeater just because I want to see the response and I want to try to manipulate the request and see how the web application works. Now if I go ahead and send this, we see have the admin interface only available to local users error here. But according to what they said here, they said we are actually the lab there is actually a custom HTTP header that can be used by an attacker to actually bypass this. So what we can do is we can actually Google. You literally need to turn on intercept first, and then we can just Google 401 status code bypass, right? 401 status code bypass. That is the first stop there. Now Actrix is not just a website to actually bypass 403 or 401. It actually serves as a website for different hacking tricks or hacking methodology. Whatever you want to do is actually available in Actrix for any pen test activity. So we can actually read through this documentation which says try using different verbs to access the file. Now we have different headers like get, head, post, put, delete, connect, options, trace, batch, invented, hack. So we can go ahead and start with the trace option, which I believe is what should actually give us access to the restricted area. if I go ahead and do trace here and I hit send, we get this kind of request. Now you might be wondering that what is the trace? The trace HTTP header. The trace HTTP header literally serves as it's an header for debugging web pages. Literally, like it shows you it gives you this debugging sense that literally it's just an header to actually debug web pages, like to check the same way you send a post request whenever you are actually accessing a endpoint that is literally that requires authentication, or just to get requests to actually view a random web page, or even a delete request to actually delete the user, right? So that is how the trace request, it's just used to debug web pages literally. Now there's something suspicious about this response, and what is suspicious is the X custom IP authorization. Now why this is very suspicious is because if you go ahead and copy this and then paste that here and hit send, we actually get this page here. Okay, we just have to wait. Okay, good. So you can see that we have content let here which says 0, which literally means there's something available for us. So instead of using that particular IP, we can go ahead and use the localhost IP, which is 127.0.0.1. So if I hit send here again, let's see what we literally have. Okay, so we still have the trace connection right here, right? So we can go ahead and set that back to get. We can go ahead and set that back to get, and once we set that back to get, we literally have let's click on render to actually view have a better page of the website. So we literally have bypassed that. You can see we have users, winner, delete, colors, delete. So now all we just need to do is to add the X custom IP authorization header anytime we are literally going to /admin. Now I can go ahead and copy this right here, and then I'm just going to intercept that request right again here. So I'm going to hit /admin there, and then I'm going to forward this. So I'm going to paste this here, right here, as custom IP authorization. I'm going to hit port. I can now turn on the intercept, and you see I have delete here. I'm going to turn on back intercept, and then I'm going to delete user colors according to the lab. So navigating back to my proxy, you can see here that we are trying to delete the user colors. So we can go ahead and paste that X authorization, custom IP authorization back here again, and hit forward, and turn off intercept again, and you can see here we have congratulations, you solved the lab. Now that is literally that for bypassing authentication, and you can go ahead and read all of these. We have path pausing for paths, sometimes secret might work, just like we have here capital letter admin. We can actually try to see if capital letter admin is literally going to work also, but it still takes us back to small letter admin. Now we'll be looking at the next lab, which is information disclosure in version control history. Now information disclosure in version control history is literally a kind of unique lab, which I believe is a very, very important lesson for developers out there. Some developers tend to host .git folders in the web directory. As a web directory, literally meaning we literally have git files, and sometimes the git files literally contains sensitive information. So we can go ahead and open link here, which is click the access to lab icon and then open link in new tab. Now according to the lab description, they said this lab discloses the sensitive information via the version control history, and to solve the lab we need to obtain the password for the administrator user. First things first is to actually make sure to turn off your pub proxy, and then click enter here again, because it's actually sending a request to Bob Suite proxy here, and then our intercept is not turned on yet, which is actually going to drop that connection. So what we can do once we have this is you can go ahead and perform a dir first directory provisioning or directory busting, whatever you want to call it. You can actually perform a directory first here once again, and then we're doing this literally to discover any kind of hidden directory on the web page, right? Or to force any kind of directory that is actually going to store sensitive information or store files in which we can actually analyze to better understand this target. Without wasting too much time, I decided to cancel this operation because I literally have what I want. Now there's a .git directory on this particular website, and we can see that we have 200. You can go ahead and copy the first directory here, paste it here, and you should see that you literally have a .git directory right over here. So now I'm literally going to download this .git directory down over to my local system because I cannot actually analyze this over here. I mean, it's pretty hard to go over all these files here because it's not going to be that easy, right? So I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to come over to my terminal. I'm going to use the wget command to actually download this particular file. So let me just make this big. I'm going to specify -- mirror, which means it's going to actually mirror that particular website. I'm going to specify -i to actually download the files recursively, and then I'm going to specify .git here, and then followed by the website name. Now once this is done, this will start to download every file it actually can get access to there. It's going to download these files into our local system. So it's going to take a while for it to download, and you can see that 47 files were downloaded in and it says 33 kilobytes and in 0.002 seconds. Now once this is done, you actually see you have the website name file here, which is this. So we can go ahead and cd to that, and then run ls. Now when you run ls, you're not going to discover any file here, but running ls-la, you actually see a .git directory here. Now just to make things comfortable for us, I've actually got a list of commands here. I actually made a list of commands to actually make things much more easier for anyone out there, right? So according to what we have here, we have the git status command, we have the git restore command, git log, git show command. And this command is actually going to aid in the enumeration of this particular git directory, right? So the first command here is to check the status of this particular git directory. Are there any files that has been changed? Are there any files that have been manipulated? And here, as you can see, we have two files that has been deleted here, which is admin.conf and adminpanel.php. So we can go ahead and use the git restore command to actually restore those files, right? To restore every files that has actually been deleted in one way or the other. So let me just do lsd, and then I have admin.conf here. So I can go ahead and cut out admin.conf, and you can see we have admin password is equals to env. We have another admin password here. We also have admin panel.php, and then we have this to do build an amazing admin panel, but remember to check the password. Now there's nothing literally very important in these two files. That's why we're going to check the git log. Now git literally stores the git directory literally stores the log of everything the particular user is doing. It stores this in some kind of files, right? It stores in some kind of files whereby you can actually read them by just like using the cat command to actually concatenate out what is inside those files. So the best way to check this out is by running the git log command. And once you run the git log command, you see everything here. You have the commit, you have the hash, and then you have the author, which is Carlos Montoya. You have the date which it was committed, and you have a comment here. The command says remove admin password from config. And what we can do is we can just copy the hash here and just git show, and then paste in the hash. Now you can see that we have an admin password which says 3JJLJJOL625. And let's go ahead and check the other hash, very necessary, just to be sure that we don't get different information. Over here also we have 3JJJOL625. So I'm guessing that's the admin password literally. So let's go ahead and log in as admin according to what the lab says. The lab says obtain the password for the administrator, user, and login and delete the user colors. So I'm just going to go over to I'm just going to go over, click back that website, and then click my account. Once you click your account, you get this login page, and then you can go ahead and type in administrator. I'm going to paste that password there and it's login. I'm not going to save this actually. I'm going to never okay. So now literally if we go back to /admin, right, that should actually give us access to /admin. As you can see, we now have access to a page which we did not have access to. So we can go ahead and delete user colors, and then we have successfully solved this lab. Now, information disclosure is a very it's caused by human let me just say mistakes, right? So like leaving some kind of let me not say mistake, let me say ignorance, literally leaving some kind of files you believe nobody can have access to. But the attackers, the hackers actively seeking for important information to use against a particular user or a particular organization. So having the knowledge of information disclosure is very crucial to every security professional or every normal human being out there, right? So thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and see you in my next video.